We started to volunteer here when the pastor at our church said they could use some help. And so we just came down and just did the little odd jobs, make vegetables and butter bread. And there was another lady in charge, and she had to leave and work full time somewhere, so she was leaving. And Pastor Lunwell was here, and she said, I have to find somebody to run the soup kitchen. And we were actually walking through this gym, and I went, oh, I'll do it. And she goes, you will? I'm like, sure, why not? And so she's always told me she doesn't believe in coincidences. God puts us on the path, and we obviously were put on the path to come in and take over when the other lady was leaving. So that's how we got started.
So we really feel that, Cathy may have said the words, but it wasn't her words. It was the Holy Spirit was talking through her, and that's why we're here. This is what Jesus has told us to do. This is what Jesus has told all of us to do. We're to love as He loved, and as you say about giving somebody a cold drink of water or a plate of food, and we know how it's going to end up with the sheep and the lambs. And when did we feed you, Lord? And that's what we're trying to do here. The best one I ever had was a very young girl. I'm bad with kids' age, but maybe 4 years old or so. She got a doll from the clothes closet, and to be quite frank, I would have been embarrassed to put the doll in my garbage can. It was in such bad shape. And she came up to me. She looked like any kid on Christmas morning holding this doll, and came up to me, Mr., look at my baby doll. Look how beautiful it is. And when you see things like that, you realize what you have, you realize what others don't have, you realize how something so simple can mean so much to others. It's frustrating for us at times. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, but little stories like that go a long way for us.
Yeah. When we come up against all these obstacles, and right now we have been facing a ton of them for the last month and a half, and he just keeps on telling me, it's the devil, it's the devil. He doesn't want you doing this. He wants you to quit. And we started off trying to make real meals for dinner, the meals that were being served with bologna sandwiches, and we wanted to have a dinner. They can have bologna sandwiches when we serve lunch on Wednesday and Saturday. So we relayed the story about how even though the meals were getting better and better, we were still leaving here crying. And then he said, but we need to feed their souls too. We can't just give them food. And so we try to make it a practice to talk to the guests and find out about them or what's going on in their life, or even if so much as just to say the little girls is pretty dressed on today and stuff like that. And more, I get more and more hugs now from the guests as time goes on. So
the food's just part of it. The food's the way to get you in the door. We want to do a lot more than that. And I think over the years we've seen it. We come from a good background. It's we've been very blessed in life. It's nice to come in here and see how other people are doing, talk to them, try to minister to them some way, and give them good meals. To follow up on what Cathy said, one of the things we agreed to when we took this over was we would not serve a meal here that we wouldn't serve a friend at our house, and that's been our standard ever since.